Ex-Washington Post reporter threatens to kill Trump with witchcraft. See what happens to her last victims. Sally Quinn, a former reporter for the Washington Post, just revealed how she could kill Donald Trump, and it's really weird. In an interview with USA Today, Quinn claims to be a witch with a violent past. There were 3 people who hurt me in some way or hurt somebody I loved, and so I decided to put a hex on them, Quinn told the paper. Within 5 years, all 3 were dead. Quinn has since left the hexing business, but Trump has her considering her powers once again. Since Trump was elected and since the election, I can tell you how many friends have asked me to put a hex on Donald Trump, Quinn said. But don't worry, she claims that she has no intention of coming out of retirement after making the threat. Quinn clarified, "I don't do that anymore." Somehow I don't think President Trump is all that concerned either way. Quinn is hardly the first liberal journalist to attack Trump. Her method of attack is just a lot weirder and a lot less effective. Share so everyone can see the insanity of the liberal media. Quinn might be the craziest example yet. See Quinn talk about her magic, quote, in the video below. Yeah, but Hillary Clinton also said in her book that she used to get dolls and poke pins in them, you know, of the reporters or something to that effect. And also what came to mind while I was reading this article, wasn't it the Washington Post, doesn't John Podesta work for these people? So again, they hire people that are Satanists, in other words, right? Let's just listen to this idiot here.
Sally Quinn is not the commonplace sight on CBS. She's a former Washington Post reporter, and we're very glad to have her indeed.
You know, the first day I come on television, I start out with a sore throat and a fever. And now back to you, Hughes.
Well, as long as fever is all right.
Look at that set. Look at Sally Quinn and Hughes Ruggs. Sally Quinn made history as the first woman to anchor a CBS News morning show in August 1973. After she left CBS, Quinn returned to a successful print career at the Washington Post. It's funny to see you in Hughes Ruggs because he said he liked you because you were meaner than a junkyard dog. Okay. And I took that as a compliment. Yes, okay.
That is where she met her late husband, Ben Bradley. He was the Post legendary editor during the Watergate era. Quinn's new book is called Finding Magic, a spiritual memoir. It details their marriage and other defining moments that shaped her beliefs. Sally Quinn joins us now. Welcome back to CBS.
Well, thank you. I must say, I felt a little queasy driving up to this morning.
I must say, as a longtime friend of Sally, that Ben Bradley was the guy that every woman fell in love with and every man wanted to be.
He looks like a warlock.
This is a wonderful sense of a relationship that you tell us all about. But what's interesting about you is I knew about faith. I didn't know about hexes. I didn't know about permission.
Sure you didn't.
I didn't know about all that other stuff, magic included.
Well, you know, when I started writing this book, it was because I had been an atheist and started a religion website at the Washington Post, which already was a sort of a weird combination. And I started studying religion.
See, this is where they get idiots to pay for their books because they are idiots. That's basically the bottom line. Yes, they have a negative energy, but that's what they have. And again, you see that they look wicked, both of them.
And it became clear to me that all religion is magic. And I had been brought up in the South where, you know, the Scottish Presbyterian stones and the ghosts and the psychic phenomena and voodoo and all of that was sort of part of my embedded religion, as well as being a Christian and believing in God, believing in Jesus.
She's a Christian.
I became an atheist when my father liberated Dachau and took pictures, and I saw the scrapbooks, and I couldn't believe that God had let this happen. And I was 4 years old. This is in World War II. That I became an atheist. But as I started studying religion, it became clear to me that faith is really all about magic. And whatever you believe, nobody knows. My favorite bumper sticker is, "I don't know and you don't either." And so that magic and all of the things that go along with magic are just another name for whatever faith you might have or whatever religion you might have. And that I respect, they're all just as legitimate as the others, even institutional religions, or magic, or when you talk about astrology or hexes or all that. I mean, there are people, billions of people all over the world who believe in these things, and we don't, and we respect them if we look at them and their culture, but then you bring it into our culture and it looks very different.
You grew up in a military family, as you mentioned. Your parents were of Scottish descent and Presbyterian Christian background.
Notice when they talk about Trump, how they interrupt, how they stop anybody that's talking positive about Trump. They interrupt, they stop the person from speaking, and here they show such great respect, if you notice. Such great respect. No interruptions.
But how did you learn voodoo, and who did you place hexes on?
Well, when I'm growing up in the South, and we had, as I said, the Scottish Presbyterian, but also the staff in the house were black Christians who went to Baptist church, but then they would practice voodoo on the side. So you
learned voodoo?
So I did learn voodoo. And it's the kind of thing where it's should we be nervous? We'll
your
see
book
how
is
this
so
interview
good.
goes.
Thumbs up.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Well, I only raised it because you say that you put voodoo, some spells on people, 3 of them.
And that they passed.
And they did not have a pleasant end, Sally.
Right.
That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
they're dead.
Yes, this is true.
So I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
so she has more
But I
power
mean, it
than
is
God,
very,
right?
You're raising very good points about what happened. It's very interesting. I don't want to make you sound like you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but you do raise some very interesting things in the book. I'm fascinated with Charlie saying about Ben Bradley, that he was a man that women wanted and men wanted to be. But let's talk about you, Miss Sally. The word is you could have had any man you wanted, and they said they used the man's private parts. If you wanted it, you got it. Then you went after the boss, and I'm trying to think, if I went after Les Moonves or Ryan Caedrel, they would have me carted off to the mental institution. But you went after Ben Bradley,
And you got this in mind, actually.
No, Mrs. Caedrel and Mrs. Moonves, definitely not. But it seems like in the book you went after Ben Bradley. The two of you had a mutual love and connection like no other. And I'm very fascinated
During
by
Watergate.
that. During Watergate. It was a big scandal.
Well, he went after me, actually. I fell in love with him and realized that it wasn't going to work because he was married and had children. And so
he was older, yeah.
And he was 20 years older, so I accepted a job as the first anchor woman in America right here at CBS News.
Okay, but let me just understand. The fling began with Ben? The fling began with Ben.
With Ben,
Right.
yes.
And so
Sally,
You were writing love letters. You were writing love letters to him.
I was
You were marrying.
yes, and I was writing love notes to him, but anonymous, and he didn't get it. He didn't get it.
You talk about being on a plane next time. I want to try this technique. There was turbulence.
Yes.
You grabbed his thigh and you said you didn't let go even after the turbulence ended. But there was a connection clearly between the two of you. I am going to try it.
By the way, he did not take my hand off of his
Look at them like cackling chickens there.
But it's very sweet. I mean, he's no longer with us. He had dementia. And you talk about when someone loves you, the way they say their name out of their mouth is different. And that the way he said your name toward the end was your name no longer felt safe in his mouth. It's a very sweet story.
Well, I say that yes, when you love someone, your name feels safe in their mouth when someone loves you. And there was a moment when Ben started getting dementia where his personality changed. He became somewhat hostile, and we had to get through that
About 5 minutes
period.
of automatic brakes.
Yes, and so, but in the end,
Why didn't you use your witchcraft so he wouldn't have
The
dementia?
last 2 years of his life where he had dementia was
Unbelievable, unbelievable. These people are sick. These people are sick. Absolutely. But I figured, hey, it's kind of a weird story. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.